lovelies! I wanted to make a video for actually quite a long time. I wrote the script for this video and posted it, back in April of 2024. And, I was looking through my Discord server and I, noticed it in the Emily's blog channel and I'm like, dang, I wanted to make this YouTube video and I just never did because I always get afraid of the video editing process. It is what scares me off always, and it's just something I hate doing. I just hate it. So I was like, you know what if I just stream it and then the video footage will be out and I don't have to do any editing. It'll just be however it's gonna be. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea here. So, okay. I am going to basically read my little blog post, because this is essentially my YouTube video script. As you can tell, I am not a video maker. I'm an artist, so, making videos is not my forte, so I'm just gonna do this however I can do it. Here we go. Without further ado. Alright. This is an artist rant on why social media is garbage. Okay, now, bear in mind this is my opinion, okay, based on my own experiences, and this is going back 20 years. So here goes. Hello, my lovelies. It has been 5 years since I posted a video to YouTube. An actual video. Despite my intro video stating that my goal was to post a video every month. Well, that never happened. You see, I suffer from this thing called fear and hatred of video editing. Boy, do I. I find it the most insufferable, tedious, and time-consuming process that I threw in the towel before I ever got started. But here I am, making a video, and, it's gonna be flawed, it's not gonna be great, but, hopefully I get my point across, right? I do feel that this video is gonna be relevant and relatable for a lot of people. Maybe not just artists, but, if you guys get something out of this, then, good. So let's get into it. Have you ever tried to put yourself out there on the internet hoping to showcase something you do really well, something you think, hey, I bet people will appreciate this thing I do, this skill or talent I have? Yep, with the rise of social media, many of us have fallen into a spider web, trapped and waiting for a slow, painful death from sheer disappointment and disillusionment. Social media, for many people, has become a guillotine, chopping off our self-worth and making our self-esteem plummet into a basket of despair. I can only speak to my exact experiences over the past 20 years when I began posting my artwork online. It began with me as an innocent and naive teenager, thrilled to harness the power of a scanner and my first digital camera, allowing me to transfer my traditional artwork into the digital world and post it on the internet for all to see. The very first place I ever posted my work was Fan Art Central under the username Otaku1811, the perfect early 2000s cringe username befitting of someone who loved watching anime and reading manga. I was the geeky nerd of my era, long before the word weeaboo ever existed. I embodied it. So of course, I drew a lot of fan art for things that I loved at the time, like Final Fantasy VII, Inuyasha, Gundam Wing, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, yada yada yada. I was into every anime under the sun. So, whatever was popular in the anime and the JRPG realm back in the day, if I was into it, I was drawing it. So I'll never forget the rush of dopamine that slapped my brain every time someone wrote a nice comment under my artwork. They liked it! They really liked it! Every positive comment I got only urged me to post more, feeling this rush that I finally had an audience and a place where I could show off my artistic ability. However, Fan Art Central quickly lost my interest when I discovered the king of all art-sharing websites for the early 2000s, DeviantArt. I joined DA in 2005, and I was 18 at the time. I was in my first year of college, living in a dorm with my old, reliable Dell PC and a Wacom Intuos 3 tablet, learning the ropes of digital art while using a pirated version of Photoshop 7 and CS3 later on. Because, yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but back in the day, Photoshop was really expensive, like $900 to $1,000 to actually buy a legit copy. And I was fresh out of high school into college, so yeah, I didn't have money like that. So yeah, those were the good old days, when DeviantArt was a thriving community full of fellow anime and cartoon-loving nerds just like me, doing the kind of art I loved. However, it became obvious very early on that I was in a huge worldwide sea of amateur and highly skilled artists all vying for the same thing. Attention. Every single one of us was posting art as often as we could to get that dopamine high. We wanted people to div watch us, fave our work, and comment. And later on, they even added this whole llama system, so you can like give people llamas and stuff. I have quite a lot of llamas for all the good that does me. We all strived to earn a daily deviation in hopes that our popularity would explode and we'd reach thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of followers. It was the very first game of online popularity I ever played. Many of us grew up seeing the success of deviants like Loish, Artgerm, Genzoman, or Sakimi-chan, just to name a few, envying their incredible skills and watching as their art careers took off. The sad reality was, most of us were just nobodies that barely had any watchers, and our artwork hardly got noticed at all, no matter how hard we tried. Over the years, DeviantArt became a worse place for artists to gain recognition, as the site was restructured and their algorithm changed to the point where no one stood a chance at recognition. Add to the fact it was full of fetish art and degeneracy. And that hasn't gotten any better, guys. Trust me, the front page of DeviantArt is riddled with things you cannot unsee. So there seemed to be a mass exodus as people left DeviantArt in droves, moving on to newer, better platforms. I, however, was stubborn and continued posting my artwork onto the DeviantArt for years to come, and I still do, Old habits die hard, I guess. I've been on this site for 20 years, might as well keep posting my art on there, right? Even if nobody sees it. Alright, so what came after DeviantArt? Well, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, which is now known as X, Instagram, Reddit, and other more niche art sites like For Affinity, ConceptArt.org, and ArtStation, just to name a few. I joined them all because that's what every other artist did. We were told that if we want to grow a following and get that piece of the popularity pie, we had to get with the times and post our artwork far and wide onto every hit social media platform there was. I didn't realize how thin I was spreading myself over the years, posting my art to so many different sites, only to find myself getting the same result: hardly any engagement. I barely got new followers, hardly any likes, comments, or indication that my art was even being seen whatsoever. It felt like I was throwing all of my hard work into a void. I felt the sheer emptiness, which slowly began to warp my very perception of my work and make me wonder, does my art suck? Am I just not good enough? No one cares about what I do, so why should I? The claws of depression gripped me as my dreams of becoming a full-time artist and making an actual living at it seemed to crumble away. I did commissions for people ever since I was 14, but finding clients online was few and far between. I can actually say that no matter how much I advertised, I never scored any clients from DeviantArt, ArtStation, For Affinity, Reddit, Tumblr, or Twitter/X. Ever. I got 2 clients from Instagram, and the ones I landed from Facebook were all from people that I knew in real life. So it was safe to say that social media was not working to grow me a following or help me get income. It felt like I was on a sinking ship, and it took me far too long to finally do what I did in the year 2020. The Great Social Media Purge. 2020 was an insane year, with the COVID-19 pandemic sweeping the world, people being extremely divided in political and social issues, and more people trapped indoors becoming terminally online. Everything began to shift. Streamers saw a huge boom in business, especially VTubers, and people were trying to find ways to make a living from the comfort of their own homes more than ever before. There was also a lot of money flowing into people's pockets that never had an extra dime to spare, myself included. All of that pandemic relief money freed me from the rat wheel, freeing up my time and finally allowing me to pursue the freelance art career I always wanted. Before all of that money rained down upon me from unemployment benefits and COVID relief money, I'd worked for almost a full decade doing various minimum wage jobs, the typical retail and food service type gigs that give you barely enough hours and wages to pay your bills and stay alive. Yeah, those jobs. I tried freelancing for 3 years prior, only making like $250 a month if I was lucky. So I really had no choice but to go out and get a quote-unquote real job. I continued doing my art on the side, and I was teaching Dreamcatcher workshops, I was doing private art lessons, summer art classes at the College of St. Rose, and also vending at my local Comic-Con. So all in all, my art career was finally starting to make a viable living wage bit by bit, but none of that was due to social media, really. It was all real-life, in-person networking that seemed to be working. Then that day came that I was furloughed from my last job, which was, Panera. And all of a sudden, I was getting an insane $2,400 a month in unemployment and COVID relief benefits as the whole world shut down. It was truly a bizarre time in my life. For the first time ever, I had money. I used to live paycheck to paycheck, and I never had a savings except once a year when I got my tax return. Usually all of that money went towards car repairs or maintenance, because there would always be some kind of emergency that would devour my tax return, like inevitably. I seriously think I was cursed. So I never got to keep that money. So now here I am, 2020, rolling in dough, out of work, and spending a good year just playing World of Warcraft and having a grand old time doing whatever I wanted, while also still teaching private art lessons, though many of them switched over to virtual to avoid spreading the virus. I was living it up, and by living it up, I mean squirreling away all of that money into a nice savings. By 2021, I was able to pay off my car loan and be debt-free, and I decided it was time to try my hand at going full-time into art. No following, no online popularity, and all the risk that comes with it. Since I was so heavily involved in World of Warcraft, I decided to start this new art career by trying to get commissions drawing people's characters. My first commission client in years was an awesome lady that goes by the name Chompette. And hi Chomp, if you're in here watching. She's like always in all my streams. I appreciate her so much. I knew I was rusty, but it felt good to get back in the game doing a nice cel-shaded character illustration. I also decided to try my hand at streaming on Twitch, which, hey, 5 years later, I'm still here, woo! Oh my god. So, yeah, years ago, I originally was streaming on Livestream, which, man, that's an original name for a streaming platform, right? So, to get people's attention, I would go into World of Warcraft's biggest role-playing servers, Moonguard and Wyrmrest Accord, and I started, very slyly advertising to people that I would sketch their characters for free. Yes, pro bono. All they had to do was watch my stream, hopefully follow me, spread the good word that I'm doing them a kindness, and maybe, just maybe, they'd give me a tip or even commission me. And guess what? It worked! Holy hell did it work! All those years of busting my butt trying to get noticed on social media flopped, but using a TRP add-on in 2 RP servers and a popular MMORPG, now I was in business, in every sense of the word. It grew so fast that I had to make a Discord server to funnel all of these people from WoW into one community and make it easier for me to upload their art and deliver it, rather than exchanging emails and inconvenience. Today, I am rocking close to 300 members in my server, though people come and go, and the growth of my community has largely stagnated. But again, this is still far more active engagement that I get with people in real time than I've gotten on my social media platforms in 20 years. I love my little community, and I owe these people my very livelihood today, and so much gratitude. Huge shout out to all of you guys who've stuck around, watched my streams, commissioned me, promoted my art to other communities. You guys rock, seriously. Big hearts, lots of love. So what prompted me to go on this long rant about why I think social media absolutely blows chunks, especially for artists that are looking to find a following of devoted admirers? Well, one day I was perusing YouTube, and a video popped up by a user named Cyanide with an S, and the video was titled, "How much money can furry art actually make?" Now, being someone who makes a good chunk of my income from drawing commissions of furry characters, I watched the video the whole way through and found it insanely relatable. The only real difference between me and this YouTuber is our experience and skill level in art. I've been drawing a long time, and, I consider my work to be a fairly high skill level at this stage in my life, whereas he seemed to be just starting out. Yet we both had the same exact failures and disappointments when posting our art to social media. In this example, he used Twitter/X and Instagram specifically. This is our experience in a nutshell. We make some art, we post it to Twitter/X and Instagram, using a bunch of relevant hashtags to get it to show up in as many search categories as possible, and hopefully appease the mysterious algorithm gods. And for both platforms, we try to engage with communities, interact with people, generally play the game the way everyone says it's supposed to be played in order to get views, clicks, likes, etc. So with Twitter/X, the end result is 0 likes, 0 retweets, and high likeliness nobody on Earth has seen our posts at all. No new followers, no engagement whatsoever. That's why I personally really despise Twitter/X. And I actually, deleted it, but I ended up having to start using it again. At least I'm attempting. Still not really working terribly well, but, it is what it is. But it feels like a big fat nothing burger. I had the same problem with Tumblr. I would post on it for years and get no reblogs, no likes, and 0 activity on my posts. The only followers I would get were, porn bots. Now, let's see how we did on Instagram, shall we? Instagram seems at least a little bit better than Twitter/X and Tumblr. in that, we at least got some likes, even a few comments and followers. The downside, we also get so many spam comments from scammy pages that want your money to promote your page, to a bunch of fake accounts to make it seem as if you have an audience. But really you don't. Then there's the DMs. Can you draw my son's pet dog? I will pay you $300. Yeah, that's not a real commission client. That's a scammer. Also the, I love your art, that I've never looked at. Can I purchase your art as NFTs? Also a scam. Just using hashtag artist or hashtag art is like a magnet for these scumbags. So overall, while Instagram does get us some genuine engagement, it also brings with it a lot of nuisances, and ultimately, for me at least, it hasn't gotten me more than 2 commission clients in the 8 years I've been consistently posting on the platform. Add to the fact that Instagram is no longer about still pictures. When I'm scrolling on my Instagram, all I see is videos, basically shorts. Instagram essentially became TikTok 2.0. So it really does punish artists if you don't make short format video content. Good luck trying to get people to see your beautiful drawings and paintings if they're not in some sort of catchy reel with some trending music. It's just not happening, folks. So let's take a look at my numbers over the past 20 years. Oh, this is going to be painful, guys. As of today, September 10th, 2025, I have 1,644 posts on Instagram since 2017 when I joined, and I have yet to make it to 1,000 followers. I am stuck at 908, and that went down from 928 because for some reason, every time I post my art, I lose followers, but that's probably because I also like to, spam flood a lot of art all at once. My bad. Sorry, guys. I just, I post like once a month and I throw up like 20 pictures, and I know people don't like that. Whoopsies. Alright, so after 20 years on DeviantArt, with a whopping 2,804 posts, my god, that's a ton of art, I managed to get myself 1,552 watchers, which, hey, at least I made it over 1,000. And on Twitter/X, I have a whopping 282 followers. On Furaffinity, I managed to wrangle up about 140 followers before I gave up on it and, deleted my account. And on Tumblr, I had a little over 230 before I also ditched it. While these numbers might sound great to any fledgling artist who just wants to get their work out there on social media, they are actually quite abysmal. Most of the watchers on DeviantArt are dead and abandoned accounts, and the ones on Twitter/X do not really engage with my posts literally ever. I have a few on Instagram that will consistently like and even comment on my work, so that feels nice at least. I've done fairly well on Twitch with 585 followers currently, and a few of those folks subscribe to my channel, which I am really thankful for. Seriously, huge shout out to my subscribers, because, it's really nice to get that email every couple of months, that Twitch is like, you made $53. I'm like, yay, money, thank God. Oh, man. So, let's see, I've only been streaming on Twitch for, I'd say going on 5 years now. And to have that many followers in that short of a time compared to other sites is actually, I guess decent growth. Probably not, but hey, I'm happy with it. But I do know that, my Twitch growth has also stagnated because it's been kind of stuck in the 500s for a long time. So if anybody's watching, feel free to hit that, follow button there. Let's get it up to 600. Woo! Anyway, I really only have myself to blame for my slow growth with streaming because I'm almost never on camera or microphone anymore. And I'm going to go into that more probably in a different video blog. But a lot of it is just, sometimes I just get to feeling a little down, I guess, because of all of this, like the struggle to grow, and the stagnation, and also just, things being difficult, getting commissions and making enough money just to pay the bills. So, I stream and I do my commission work, but like, I'm just kind of going through the motions, and I don't really want to be chatting, because I'm just kind of like always kind of in a low-key, sad, depressed state, which I try not to like dump it on my people, but when you're struggling just to make your rent, it does get hard. It's not easy being a freelance artist. But anyway, I digress. So, we've seen here with enough time and consistent posting, you can gain some followers on all of these platforms, and some platforms are definitely way better than others. My main goal was not just to grow a following, but to gain people who love my art enough to want to support me by commissioning me or buying art merchandise from my Ko-fi shop. I needed to turn the followers into income so I could survive, and the law of probability states that for every 1,000 followers, I might get one person who will support me in some way. So 1 out of 1,000, that's rough. So out of the 908 followers on Instagram, 2 have commissioned me. So I guess, those odds are about right, I'd say. It's a tough gig because, I'm technically competing with every artist on earth, and being able to prove to people that I am the artist that they want to spend their hard-earned cash on is no easy task. The drive to survive is what led me down the rabbit hole. Virtually every struggling artist has to go down. So, we watch countless videos on how to play the algorithm games, what hashtags to use, how many hashtags, what day of the week, what time of day is the best for posting, do more reels to be more like TikTok because posting still images is no longer viable, make YouTube videos because no one will find your work otherwise, hence, this entire video I'm making right now. And let's not forget, post every single day, even multiple times a day, be a good little content farm, and pop out creative and cool stuff at a mind-blowing, inhuman rate, or else your account will be ghosted and nobody will ever see your posts. Does any of this nonsense sound familiar? Let's just say that while trying to use Instagram as my primary social media outlet the past 9 years, this has been my literal hell. To come back full circle, I mentioned earlier that I went through a social media purge in 2020. I had finally had enough of hearing the crickets chirp and getting little to no engagement on the majority of my accounts. The reckoning had finally come, and I cleaned some serious house. I made the firm decision to stop posting on Facebook. I deleted my Twitter/X, Tumblr, Reddit, for Affinity, and I mostly stopped posting to DeviantArt and ArtStation. I actually ended up deleting ArtStation a few months ago. But I did, like I said earlier, have to come back to X because that one, unfortunately, is really important for artists, especially VTubers, and I do want to try and, wheedle my way into the VTubing community. I am making my own VTuber avatar, and I want to do art for VTubers, so yeah, I'm back on X. Not really liking it, but, here we are. But, I pretty much just use Instagram and DeviantArt now as portfolio sites. So I'm not really all that concerned anymore about using them to grow a following because after 20 years, I pretty much expect that that's just impossible at this point because I'm not going to be making shorts and reels and things like that, like videos for every single piece of art I make. That's just not something I am interested in doing. So sorry, Instagram. And DeviantArt is, again, I would say mostly dead and full of weird fetish stuff. So good luck, I guess. But I post all my art on there because, it's like if I want to link somebody a gallery of a specific type of art that I do, it's really easy to just link them a DeviantArt page. Be like, look, here's all my Inktober's, or here's all my World of Warcraft commissions, and here's all my fan arts, and here's all my original stuff. I do like that in DeviantArt I could have different galleries and I can organize all of the different work I do because I do a big variety. I even make jewelry and dream catchers, so I have galleries for everything, and I do appreciate that aspect of it. Even if, I don't make any sales or commissions off of it. So, there you have it. But yeah, with Instagram, I stopped posting daily or weekly. Now I just do art dumps at the end of every month. And, yeah, I'm not gonna do reels. I find video editing to be tedious and annoying, and, also, people today, they lack an attention span of more than 2 seconds, so I feel like, why should I put in so much effort if they're just gonna, scroll past it anyway, social media is just, ugh, it's incredibly toxic if it's not working for you. For those artists that it is working for, kudos, you're lucky, but I honestly feel like the majority of us, it just doesn't work, so... I already know the algorithm gods will just never favor me. 20 years of failure has taught me what to expect, and I expect nothing. So the moral of the story is this. Screw social media. Stop wasting your time on it, chasing numbers, chasing popularity, clout, and fame. Stop looking for endless validation. Just make the things you want to make, and try to find the communities of people who will actually enjoy what you make and engage with these people directly. That's why I have grown to love streaming on Twitch and connecting to people on Discord. Because I can join up to 200 Discord servers and actually chat with folks live and share my art and engage with people in real time. There are Discord communities for virtually every niche. And having my own server has allowed me to connect to people who really love my work, enough to keep the roof over my head. I will take that over blowing farts in the wind on social media any day. So here's my parting thoughts. While so many artists and small businesses still swear by social media as the be-all, end-all way to get yourself out there, my own experience with all of it has been nothing but a headache, honestly, and I'm at the point in my life where I stopped caring about it, you know? I think now the only real way for me to grow as an artist is to keep doing Twitch streaming, keep interacting with people in Discord servers, go to places where people will like the work that I do, like World of Warcraft, and, add in YouTube videos now and again. The one thing I see everyone doing today is YouTube, so while I'm still skeptical that YouTube will help me grow, it is the only thing I haven't really tried yet. So if I can get over my seething hatred for video editing, maybe I can make this work. Who knows? But as of today, I think, what do I have, like 165 subscribers on my YouTube channel? And I have, like, I don't know, like 5 videos on there and a couple, like, I have a lot of VODs from my, Twitch and YouTube streams, so I'm guessing somebody's watching them. I do know that sometimes I get people in my YouTube live streams that comment, so that feels good. At least I know, like, I'm not completely alone on there. But thank you guys so much for listening to my rant. And if you've had similar experiences with social media and you want to vent, please share your stories in the comments below or in the chat right here, because I am live. And be sure to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and also follow me on Twitch, because I stream at least 3 to 4 days a week, most weeks. So, you'll definitely catch me. So, yeah. And also, you know what? You guys can always join my Discord server too, because I'm always there. I read every single message. I like to post pictures of my cat and my gardens. And, we're all just a big happy family in there. It's a nice, chill little community. And, luckily I'm not so huge of an artist or streamer that, like, I don't interact with my fans. Like, no, I am on the ground, always interacting with my people. So come on in, hang out, and have fun. And that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. And take care. Ciao for now. Bye, guys.